A car crash caused me and Victoria Bell, my wife from my past life, to be reborn. When we woke up, we were back on the day we first officially became a couple. In our previous life, we dated for 8 years, but she ran off with someone else on our wedding day. I was devastated. My mom, Eleanor Clark, suffered a sudden heart attack and died right there. Only later did I discover she had always been in love with her childhood friend, Ethan Thorne. After being reborn, we both almost simultaneously suggested breaking up, hoping to sever all ties forever. The next time we met was at her wedding to Ethan Thorne. She, now a nationally famous dancer, sneered at me. Still such a classless act, I remained non-committal, turning instead to take the hand of my fiancé, the CEO of Sweeney Group. Victoria's expression shifted instantly, and stopped pretending who would fall for a country bumpkin like you. My fiancé produced a gold-plated invitation, and Victoria completely lost her composure. Since you swore you only loved me, how could you marry someone else? Chapter 1. The next time I saw Victoria Bell was at her wedding reception, celebrating her marriage to Ethan Thorne. I had just wrapped up a cutting-edge project in the AI field and came straight over, backpack still slung over my shoulder. Victoria, radiant in a stunning wedding gown, stood with Ethan Thorne at the center of the room, looking like a golden couple as guests swarmed around them. Victoria's dress is gorgeous. I heard it cost over $20,000. That's nothing. Mr. Thorne is a branch manager at Sweeney Group, making a 7-figure salary. Sweeney Group? That tech giant, the top one in the country? Aren't they worth billions? Someone sharp-eyed spotted me and called out, "Sincere Clark is here. Isn't that Victoria's first love?" I heard he was dirt poor back then, couldn't even afford tuition. Victoria's dad, Mr. Bell, had to help him out. The crowd parted, leaving a clear path in front of me. Victoria's eyes scanned me, and when she noticed the worn backpack on my shoulder, she burst out laughing. "This is a high-end hotel, Sincere. Still planning to pack up leftovers? Sincere Clark, it's been so many years. You haven't changed, still so utterly classless." The bag was just something I grabbed on my way out. It was indeed a bit old. But she seemed to forget that the bag she used back in school was even shabbier than this one. Back then I couldn't stand seeing her mocked, so I bit the bullet, even sold my blood to buy her a new bag. She was deeply moved, crying and swearing she'd marry no one but me. But then she ran off with someone else on our wedding day. I lowered my gaze and offered a faint smile, and my apologies. I wasn't aware of a dress code for the wedding. "I'll be sure to pay attention next time." Victoria's face tightened slightly. "Oh, what did you just say?" Ethan Thorne wrapped an arm around her waist, flashing the Rolex on his wrist. "Honey, don't waste your energy getting angry at someone like him. He's just a lowlife after all. All talk and no substance. Didn't he boast back then about paying back that $5,000 100-fold? Looks like that's never going to happen in this lifetime." It was true. When I accepted the tuition money back then, I promised I would repay it 100 times over. But after we were reborn, we broke up so quickly that I never had the chance to see Mr. Bell again. The reason I came to the wedding today was specifically to return that money to him. I put down my backpack and scanned the room. "Where is Mr. Bell?" a former classmate cried out in surprise. "No way, are you still hoping Mr. Bell will put in a good word for you, help you get back together with Victoria?" Mocking glances turned my way from all around. "Sincere Clark, take a look at yourself, still such a pathetic sight, truly a toad lusting after swan meat. Un's exactly almost 30, and still broke as hell. Who in their right mind would want you?" Victoria's face wore an expression of utter disdain. "There's no chance for us. Give up that fantasy. But for old time's sake, I can ask Ethan to find a position for you. Sweeney has high standards, so you'd probably only qualify for a janitor position, but it's still better than the odd jobs you're doing now." Ethan Thorne looked at her dotingly. "Victoria truly is beautiful and kind-hearted. Don't worry, I'll make sure he gets by." I shook my head. "No, thank you. I'm quite happy with my current job." Turning away, I found a seat and waited for the meal to begin. Victoria followed and sat down nearby, tossing a set of Porsche keys onto the table. I know you still love me. You just don't want to lose face in front of Ethan. But sincere, you need to face reality. Someone like me, born under a lucky star, is completely out of your league. So go work for Ethan, be good. Maybe you can even find a cleaner to settle down with. And just try not to cheat on her like you did last time. My head snapped up. In our last life, to support her dream of dancing, I gave up further education and entered the workforce early. Every cent I earned went to her. To make more money, I threw myself into projects, working overtime until I was practically coughing up blood, never daring to rest. Fortunately, my professional skills were strong, and I actually achieved some success. But somehow, she found out about it and pressured me to sell my project to Ethan Thorne. Chapter 2. I tried desperately to explain the pros and cons, swearing that I could make a name for myself within a year at most, but she didn't believe me at all. Sincere Clark, opportunities are for the rich, a country bumpkin like you will never get a break. And you've already held me back for so many years. Can't you even give me this bit of money? Tanpon, sell the project, and I'll marry you. Only later did I learn that Ethan Thorne had used that project to leap into a management position at a tech company. At the time, I didn't want to pursue it. All I wanted was to make Victoria happy and for her to marry me. Who knew that on our wedding day Victoria would disappear? All that remained was a video played repeatedly on the big screen, accusing me of infidelity. My mother believed it. The shock triggered a fatal heart attack. I searched for a long time before finding out she had run off with Ethan Thorne. When we met again that day, her face was contorted with rage. "Once you country bumpkin, how dare you sneak around with other women behind my back? And no mother deserved to die raising a son like you. What right did she have to live?" Fighting back my anger, I explained I hadn't cheated. She threw a photo at me. It showed me walking side by side with a woman, but we were clearly keeping our distance. There was absolutely no intimacy. As I tried to argue further, a car suddenly swerved towards us from the roadside. The moment I realized I was reborn, I felt an immense wave of relief. In this life, I would have absolutely nothing to do with her. I took a deep breath and spoke calmly, "Thank you, Miss Bell. But I don't need it." Her eyes widened instantly. "What did you call me?" In 2 lifetimes, I had never addressed her with such formality. Ethan Thorne, however, misunderstood and smugly wrapped his arm around her shoulder. "And you should be calling her Mrs. Thorne. And Sincere Clark, since you feel you're not up to working at Suining, don't force yourself." He pulled a thin wad of cash from his pocket and threw it in my face. "Take this small amount as a gesture of our old classmate connection. Go buy yourself some decent clothes. Later, I'll have the cleaners pack up the leftovers for you. You can heat them up later." A wave of low chuckles spread through the surrounding crowd. Exactly. He probably couldn't afford a meal in a fancy hotel like this in his entire life. I bent down, picked up all the bills and held them out to him. "What you just did constitutes intentional defacement of currency. According to public order regulations, it can lead to administrative detention of 5 to 10 days. Ethan Thorne froze, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Smack Victoria slapped the money out of my hand and onto the floor. "Who are you trying to fool? Everyone knows what you are talking about the law. Do you even know which way the courthouse door faces? Tinna's $300 is probably more than your monthly salary. Don't push your luck." When someone's being nice, I felt it was impossible to communicate with these two and decided to leave, picking up my backpack. I could deal with repaying the money another day. Suddenly, my backpack was yanked back. I turned to see Julian Song, Victoria's #1 admirer, more money than sense. Is Sincere Clark too embarrassed to take the money? For right, he was famous back in school as the poor school hunk. He definitely wouldn't take money from others without a reason. He propped one leg up on a chair. "How about this? Perform a little dog crawl for everyone, and this money can be your performance fee." The surrounding crowd erupted in laughter, but not a single person stepped forward to stop the farce. Seeing I wasn't moving, he sneered and patted his thigh. "Come on, big school hunk, need some help?" His hand had barely touched my arm when Victoria forcefully pulled it away. "Get lost. Don't embarrass yourself here." I glanced at her, surprised she would intervene on my behalf. Chapter. Annoyed at being publicly rebuffed by her, Julian Song waited until I turned, then kicked my backpack, leaving a large, dirty footprint. This bag held special meaning for me. I quickly took out some tissues and carefully wiped it clean. A sharp-eyed classmate whispered, "Hey, that bag looks like a Hermes flash. With the allocation purchase, it's probably worth over $20,000. Ethan Thorne couldn't help but roar with laughter. Him? He probably can't even spell Hermes. To Sincere Clark, it's one thing to be poor, but why are you so vain too? Victoria averted her eyes, seemingly finding even looking at me beneath her status. It's been 8 years. I really didn't expect the breakup to affect you this much. Whatever, just go. It's probably best if we don't see each other again. I frowned. I was planning on leaving even if she hadn't said anything. Just as I was about to stand up, a kind voice came from behind me. "Is that Sincere?" Victoria immediately grabbed the arm of the person who had arrived. "Dad, Sincere Clark has lost his mind. Don't go near him." Ignoring her, I hugged my backpack and went to meet him. "Mr. Bell, it's me. Sent was thanks to the $5,000 you lent me that I was able to finish university. Thank you."
"Thank you, but promised back then to repay you 100-fold.
"Today I'd like to give you this $500,000. Victoria rolled her eyes. "Will you ever stop? Would it kill you not to pretend? Forget $500,000, you'd struggle to come up with 50,000. The surrounding classmates nodded in agreement. Julian Song was the most animated. "If he can cough up, I'll stand on my head and eat shit." Mr. Bell's face hardened. "Don't look down on a young man just because he's poor. Character is far more important than money. I believe Sincere will make something of himself one day." I was deeply touched. In the previous life, when Victoria accused me of cheating, only he believed in my character. In the end, he was also the one who helped find her. Without further words, I opened my backpack and poured out stacks upon stacks of crisp $100 bills. "Here's $500,000 in cash. Please count it." An instantaneous silence fell over the room, as if deathly still. After a long moment, Victoria finally spoke, her voice laced with disbelief. "Where did you get so much money? It can't be fake, can it?" I looked up, my expression open and honest. "If you have any doubts, feel free to verify at any time." Ethan Thorne crouched down, meticulously examining the bills for a long time. His face grew increasingly grim. "It's real. But how could someone like you have this much money? Did you steal it?" Mr. Bell suddenly snapped. "That's enough. Sincere studied hard. He's diligent and down to earth. Why do you constantly look down on him? Just because he was poor? Son, don't forget, fortunes can change." He picked up the backpack. "I'll accept this money, but I won't touch a cent of it. If you ever need it, just come find me anytime." I nodded firmly. Someone in the crowd whispered, "See? I told you that bag was Hermes, and you didn't believe me." "Didn't someone say they were going to perform a headstand and eat shit?" "Well, get to it." Julian Song was quietly trying to inch backward. Seeing all eyes suddenly focus on him, his face flushed crimson. "Sincere Clark, we were classmates. There's no need to be so aggressive, right?" "Sink Victoria, look at him, he's bullying me too much." Victoria's expression was complex, as if she still couldn't believe I could produce 500,000. "Everyone stop fooling around. This is a high-end hotel under the Sweeney Group umbrella. Making a scene like eating excrement here is unacceptable. What's more, the CEO of the group, Isabel Sterling, is upstairs today. If you disturb her, be careful she doesn't have you all thrown out." Everyone was taken aback. "Isabel Sterling? The young CEO who took over the entire group before she turned 30. Son, I heard she's the most beautiful girl in the family, and she's still single." Julian Song immediately straightened his clothes. Victoria, considering how long I pursued you, could you introduce me to Ms. Sterling? I'm the young heir of the Song family, after all. My status should be acceptable, right? Victoria rolled her eyes dramatically. Don't be ridiculous. 100 Song families couldn't compare to one Sterling Sincere Clark. Listen to me. Let's just drop this matter here today. I didn't speak, inwardly wondering why Isabel Sterling would be here. Just last night she had mentioned going to headquarters for meetings. Chapter 4. A sudden commotion arose near the spiral staircase as a young, beautiful woman gracefully descended. Ethan Thorne quickly pulled Victoria along and hurried over, standing obsequiously by the side of the path. "I'm Sterling. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend my wedding. This is my wife, Victoria." Victoria nervously smoothed her wedding dress, carefully pasting on a smile. Other classmates also rushed forward, eagerly introducing themselves. "And Emma Sterling, it's me, Julian Song. Do you remember me? I've heard so much about you, Miss Sterling. It's truly an honor to finally meet you. And Sterling, I have a project I'd love for you to take a look at." Isabel Sterling politely evaded the crowd and walked straight towards me. "And I came by the hotel for an impromptu inspection. Didn't get a chance to tell you." She took an exquisite box from her handbag, revealing a wristwatch inside. Around $80,000. Not overly expensive, but the style is quite unique. Wear it for fun. The surrounding classmates were all stunned, staring wide-eyed at the scene. It's a golden diamond set Tiger Daytona, the hottest Rolex watch. Way more expensive than Ethan Thorne's Sincere Clark. "What's your relationship with Miss Sterling?" I took Isabel Sterling's hand and introduced her generously. "She is my fiancée." The crowd immediately erupted. "Sincere Clark's fiancé is the CEO of Suining Group? That's real high society. And you guys were saying he wanted to get back with Victoria Bell? That's hilarious. Is there even a comparison? Exactly 100 Victoria Bells aren't worth one of Miss Sterling's little fingers." Victoria's face turned a sickly pale green, her fists clenched tightly. "Don't be ridiculous. How could Emma Sterling possibly be interested in you? And you relentlessly pester her, just like you used to grovel after me?" I couldn't help but frown. Back in school I was introverted and didn't actively pursue girls. It was she who initiated things, often asking me for help with homework and bringing breakfast as a thank you. I found her kind and polite, which gradually led to us spending time together. Just as I was about to refute her claim, Isabel Sterling suddenly took a step forward. Tall and poised, she looked down at Victoria. Sincere is a PhD returned from overseas, an internationally renowned top expert in the field of artificial intelligence. Almost all of Sweening's AI projects launched in the past 2 years were led by him. And since he is smart and wise, possesses excellent character, and is serious and responsible in his relationships. He's a truly rare find among men, and Stanis he would choose me as my good fortune. The crowd buzzed again. The expressions on the classmates' faces were varied, but looks of mockery and gossip were all directed at Victoria Bell. The country bumpkin she had belittled into the dust was now being praised to the heavens by Isabel Sterling. Victoria nearly bit her lip until it bled. "Bone dead cocky. Miss Sterling is just playing with you. It's only an engagement. It can be called off any time." Isabel Sterling raised an eyebrow and took a gold-plated invitation from her handbag, handing it over. "I'm afraid Mrs. Thorne will be disappointed. We've already booked our wedding for the end of the month in Switzerland. If any of you are free, you're welcome to come and enjoy yourselves. Airfare is covered." Victoria clutched the invitation, almost swaying on her feet. My business here was finished, and I had no desire to linger in this place of conflict. I took Isabel's hand and we turned to leave. A black Rolls-Royce was parked outside the hotel. Just as we were about to get in, Victoria suddenly ran after us. "You clearly said you would marry no one but me. How could you fall for someone else? When did you go for your PhD? Didn't you start working right after university? In front of Isabel, I couldn't speak about our past life, so I could only respond obliquely. Between us, you were the one who let go first. You were also the one who gave my project to Ethan Thorne as a favor. Before, I didn't pursue a PhD because I wanted to start working and earning money as soon as possible. After we broke up, without the financial pressure, I could naturally focus wholeheartedly on academic research. The color drained from Victoria's face, bit by bit. Still unwilling to give up, she called out to Isabel Sterling. "Miss Sterling, you can know a person's face but not their heart. Sincere Clark is worse than a beast. When he was with me, he was already fooling around with other women." Suddenly, she froze as if someone had choked her. Isabel Sterling's back, turned towards her in front of the car, abruptly merged with the figure in that incriminating photo from the past. Chapter 5. Her voice dropped to a whisper as she turned back towards me, incredulous. "And the person you cheated with in our last life was Isabel Sterling? You two were hooking up back then?" I felt somewhat exasperated, but back then I was just a third-rate programmer. How could someone like Miss Sterling possibly have been interested in me? Besides, she's the CEO of a major corporation. Why would she ever consent to being the other woman? Those photos were taken when I went to Sweeney Group for a job interview. We just happened to exit the elevator together. Victoria grabbed my shoulders frantically. "Impossible. Ethan Thorne told me you'd been involved with that woman for a long time," he said. "All those late nights and early mornings were because you were with her. And remember when you told me you were going out of town on vacation? Ethan saw you right here in the city. How do you explain that?" I looked at her, my face expressionless. "One set of your skincare products cost over $1,500. My basic monthly salary was barely that much. How could I afford it without working myself to death with overtime? As for that vacation, I lied because I had coughed up blood from overwork and ended up in the hospital. I didn't want you to worry." Victoria's face turned deathly pale as she struggled to accept the truth. How could that be? Ethan wouldn't lie to me. Could it be? He misunderstood. I pushed her hands away. In our previous life, I considered her feelings in everything I did, yet that was the result I got. Even my mother, who doted on her, was literally angered to death. Fortunately, in this life, we separated decisively, and my mother is safe and sound back home. We dated for 8 years, yet we didn't even have the most basic level of trust. And now we've both chosen new partners. I hope we can both live the lives we desire from now on." Victoria abruptly lifted her head. "Are you really going to marry Isabel Sterling?" "Sincere Clark. You said you only loved me, that you would marry no one but me." I gave her a surprised look. That was in our past life. It's long gone. Before she could say more, I turned and walked towards the car. Isabel had been waiting in the car for quite some time without a hint of impatience. She always had stable emotions, and more importantly, she respected and trusted me. "All settled?" I nodded, accepting the hot coffee she handed me. There's been nothing between her and me for a long time. If it wasn't for repaying the money, I wouldn't have come here today. She pursed her lips in a faint smile, seemingly unbothered by Victoria at all. I couldn't help but recall our first meeting. While studying in the UK, I took on a simple AI project with a 1-week deadline. However, during development, I discovered a hidden flaw that could cause significant losses for users if not fixed promptly. So, channeling the relentless work ethic from my past life, I worked tirelessly around the clock to fix the vulnerability. Isabel Sterling happened to be overseeing European operations at the time. Upon learning about the situation, she specifically arranged a meeting with me and warmly invited me to join Sweeney. But I still had 3 years left until graduation, so I didn't accept. 3 years ago, I graduated with my PhD, bringing back a portfolio of research achievements. We met again by chance at the airport upon my return. By then, she had fully taken over Sweeney, and the group had established a solid footing in the international market. She offered a generous salary and profit sharing, and the future undoubtedly belongs to the field of artificial intelligence. Come to Sweeney, and let's spearhead the next wave of AI technology together. In that moment, I was deeply moved. She understood my passion for AI, my ambitions, and my dreams. Through countless collaborations afterward, I gradually discovered that she wasn't just decisive in action but also understanding, modest, and polite. When she learned my mother was ill, she specifically contacted the best doctors and even took time out to visit her in the hospital. I was touched but reluctant to dwell on it, wanting only to focus on research. Later, as the company grew, I advocated for shifting the R&D focus to autonomous driving, a move strongly opposed by senior management. My only recourse was to appeal to Isabel. She studied the proposal for a long time, then asked pointedly, "Can you guarantee it will be profitable?" "Sincere Clark, I'm a businesswoman, not a philanthropist." It was the first time I had seen her so detached, and a pang of disappointment hit me. "So, what is your decision, Miss Sterling?" She put down the proposal, her gaze fixed intently on me. "If it doesn't turn a profit, you marry me. Sentiana can't afford to lose both the investment and the person after all." Chapter. Naturally, the project became profitable, and we got engaged. While I was still evading commitment, my mom called, "And you haven't dated anyone since you and Victoria broke up. But people need to move forward. You did nothing wrong to her, so why won't you let yourself move on?" It struck me then that ever since the betrayal in my past life, I had been afraid to confront my own feelings. Was I really going to let someone as wonderful as Isabel Sterling slip away? Eventually, we finally confirmed our relationship and smoothly proceeded to engagement. Because neither of us liked fanfare, only the senior management at the group knew about it. But soon everyone knew. Because Ethan Thorne was arrested for stealing and selling confidential project secrets. As the project lead, I immediately went to the police station. Though it had only been a few days, he looked drastically different from the suave man at the wedding. Unshaven, with sunken eyes, he lunged at me the moment he saw me, only to be quickly restrained in a chair by the nearby officers. "So what if I did it? Who told you to seduce my wife?" I frowned involuntarily. I don't even have Victoria Bell's phone number anymore. How could I possibly seduce her? And for that reason, you stole secrets worth hundreds of millions? Have you lost your mind? Ethan Thorne grew even more agitated. Ever since she saw you last time, she's been constantly demanding a divorce. Who else could it be but you? And let me tell you straight, I didn't do this for the money. I did it just to make your life miserable. You just wait. Sweening will be bankrupt soon enough. I shook my head helplessly. I was originally thinking of giving you a chance, but now it seems unnecessary. Sinai implemented the highest level of security protocols on that confidential data. Everything you stole was automatically destroyed the same day you took it. Ethan Thorne froze, a sudden glimmer of joy flashing in his eyes. So, does that mean I didn't commit a crime? You can't arrest me? Sincere Clark, you just wait next time, I'll definitely destroy you. Even the police officers nearby couldn't stand it anymore and chimed in. Regardless of whether Suning Group suffered direct losses, your actions constitute the crime of infringing on trade secrets. You're looking at 2 or 3 years minimum. So, openly threatening and intimidating someone in a police station violates laws against provoking trouble, do you understand? Ethan Thorne finally shut his mouth. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Sincere, Ethan's been arrested, did you know? It was Victoria. I glanced towards Ethan. Are you calling to plead for him? Unexpectedly, Victoria's attitude was resolute. He's the one who drove a wedge between us, causing all those misunderstandings before I wish he were dead. Why would I plead for him? And Sincere, now that he's gotten what he deserves. The misunderstandings between us should be cleared up too. Let's get back together, okay? Just then, Ethan Thorne was being led past me by the police. He heard everything clearly, and his expression instantly became crazed. Victoria Bell, you bitch. Sinai did so much for you, and you're still thinking about him. I will never agree to a divorce in this lifetime as long as I'm alive. Don't even dream of being with him. The officers quickly dragged him away. The voice on the phone was still pressing for an answer. I refused without hesitation. Oh, the only person I love is Isabel. I will never get back together with you. Victoria was silent for a moment, then shrieked hysterically. Do you really think Isabel Sterling looks up to you? She's only interested in your projects, your ability to make money. So if you were still that third-rate programmer from our past life, see if she would marry you then. Sincere Clark. I've taken the initiative to reach out to you. What more do you want? Don't be so shameless. Further conversation was pointless. I abruptly ended the call and blacklisted the number. But I had forgotten she was never one to stay quiet. Chapter 7. A PowerPoint presentation suddenly went viral online. I don't usually follow entertainment news, but colleagues at the company started looking at me strangely. One day as I reached the entrance, a group behind me started pointing and whispering, "Is that him? Doesn't look the type, seems so proper, so messy in private." And a girl made a public accusation with her real name. It must be true. He's one thing, but Miss Sterling. Quite scandalous. I spun around and grabbed the person who had spoken. Isn't this Julian Song, coming all the way to Sweening's entrance just to gossip? Got nothing better to do? Julian Song struggled unsuccessfully to break free, then sneered. Instead of wasting time yelling at me, maybe you should think about what happens after you go bankrupt. So see, your little drama with Victoria Bell is all over the internet, Sincere Clark. Turns out your top expertise isn't in AI, but in women. The surrounding crowd roared with laughter. I noticed the content on his phone screen and snatched it away. It turned out Victoria Bell had created a PowerPoint about a love triangle, accusing the female CEO of Sweening Group of being a homewrecker. She listed a detailed timeline, tearfully recounting how she had worked hard to support my studies abroad, waiting faithfully for 8 years for my return to get married. But according to her, after achieving success, I found her embarrassing and got involved with the CEO, Isabel Sterling. In her distress, she decided to marry someone else. But Isabel Sterling allegedly used her power and influence not only to intentionally humiliate her at her wedding, but also to frame her husband, leading to his imprisonment. Claiming her life was now in danger, she pleaded with netizens for advice on how to handle the situation. The PPT included numerous photos, some from the wedding showing Isabel and her face-to-face, others of me getting into Isabel's car and leaving. Just like in the previous life, perfectly normal photos were maliciously twisted to serve as evidence of infidelity. Impulsively, I slammed the phone onto the ground. Targeting me was one thing, but dragging Isabel Sterling into it was something I absolutely would not tolerate. Just as I was about to speak, my wrist was suddenly grabbed. Isabel Sterling stood quietly behind me, her presence as calm and commanding as ever. "Sincere, you're usually rational. Don't do anything impulsive because of me." I instantly calmed down. "Don't worry. This started because of me, and I will handle it properly." I contacted the hotel manager and obtained the complete surveillance footage from that day. I also reached out to former classmates, digging up numerous photos from their social media platforms showing Victoria and Ethan Thorne's intimacy over the past 8 years. I even made a trip to the police station to get official documentation regarding Ethan Thorne's crimes. And, something Victoria herself likely never considered, my phone has an automatic call recording feature. Everything she said during that phone call served as the best evidence to refute her claims. Using my skills, I created a more engaging and informative short video, addressing each point raised in her PPT. Finally, I included a picture of the official receipt for filing a lawsuit against Victoria Bell for defamation and slander. After the video was released, the initial small stir quickly grew. Isabel, finding the progress too slow, discreetly contacted platform promoters and paid a hefty sum to keep the video trending for 3 full days. The video was wildly liked and commented on by netizens. Even Julian Song got dragged back into it because of his earlier boast about eating excrement, claiming the Sweening CEO is a homewrecker. Did she get food poisoning from a bad meal? And won't you guys don't get it. She wants to get herself thrown in jail to be with her husband, prison romance. So touching and mass petition demanding Julian Song eat shit live on camera. Victoria Bell's and Julian Song's social media platforms were quickly overwhelmed, and they were harassed into going offline. After receiving the court summons, Victoria called me from a different number. And Sincere, do you see how Isabel Sterling is treating me? Since she's a vicious woman, she doesn't love you at all. Wake up before it's too late. I paused for a moment before speaking, choosing my words carefully. Tess, is it possible that I was the one who made the video? Chapter 8. I blacklisted this new number as well and configured my phone to automatically reject all calls from unknown numbers. Before the court hearing, I received a notice to attend a pre-trial mediation session. As soon as we met, Victoria Bell approached me, weeping. Why won't you answer my calls? Are you still angry with me? I never meant to target you. I just wanted to teach Isabel Sterling a lesson who told her to steal my man. Impatiently, I moved a few steps away. Harming Isabel Sterling is harming me. Besides, your PPT didn't hold back on slandering me either. And I'll say it again, we broke up peacefully. Furthermore, I only got together with Isabel Sterling 7 years after our breakup. Our relationship has absolutely nothing to do with you. Victoria cried even harder. How can it have nothing to do with me? I was the love of your life, the one you swore you couldn't live without. How could you do this to me? Sincere, I was wrong about the past. I shouldn't have doubted you, and I definitely shouldn't have gotten involved with Ethan Thorne. Please, just give me one more chance. I really can't live without you. I was about to firmly refuse when a weary voice interrupted. Sincere, could you listen to me for a moment? It was Mr. Bell. It had only been a short while since I last saw him, but his hair had turned white. He retrieved a backpack from the corner, the very one I had given him that day. Sincere, I haven't touched a cent of this 500,000. Take it back. Consider it compensation from me, on Victoria's behalf. You're a good kid, kind and sensible. I've always thought highly of you, otherwise I wouldn't have given you so much money for tuition back then. Could you, for my sake, let Victoria off? Meeting his clouded yet hopeful eyes, I felt momentarily lost. Victoria Bell had gone too far, but I could never forget the kindness Mr. Bell showed me by paying my tuition. Moreover, due to the impact of these two viral incidents, her career had suffered greatly. I heard all her dance performances for the next few years had been cancelled. Dancing has a golden age. She was already nearing 30. In a few more years, she'd be completely past her prime, making a comeback nearly impossible. My fists clenched and unclenched. After long deliberation, I finally nodded, but I have one condition. She must issue a public apology on her social media platforms, and she must never harass me again in the future. Victoria's eyes instantly widened in protest, but Mr. Bell firmly pressed her head down, forcing her to agree and sign a legally binding commitment never to harass me again. That evening, the three of us became a trending topic for the third time. Victoria appeared on camera without makeup, apologizing for her previous slander towards me, Isabel Sterling, and all the netizens who were misled by the misinformation. I publicly liked and forwarded this video using my real name. Not long after, Isabel Sterling liked my forwarded post using Sweening's official account and even commented below it with a personal emoji. The online community instantly exploded. No one paid attention to Victoria Bell anymore. Everyone started celebrating our relationship. OMG, is this the domineering female CEO? So cute, want hugs. What a male lead is also really handsome, plus a returned PhD and research expert. What nerve Victoria had. Calling him a country bumpkin unworthy of her. The more I dig, the more I love them. The CEO and the genius scholar are totally endgame. Crucially, the main subject herself replied under a top comment, "Thank you. Wedding next month. Welcome to attend. Guests receive a cash gift." When I got home, I found Isabel, who rarely indulged in online entertainment, glued to her phone, smiling warmly. Curious, I leaned closer, but she quickly hid the screen. Secret, Chapter 9. On the wedding day, many unfamiliar faces were among the guests. When I asked Isabel, she simply said they were her friends. I didn't believe her. What kind of friends attend a wedding banquet, eat and take goodies home, and receive an envelope full of cash? Just as I was about to grab someone and ask, someone called me to take a phone call. Surprisingly, it was Victoria Bell. Unable to reach my mobile, she had called the hotel. The background noise on her end was strange, like the whistling wind. Sincere, I've tried everything, but I still can't forget you. Every night when I lie in bed, my mind is filled with images of our love from our past life. It was my vanity that drove me to push you like that made me fall for Ethan Thorne's lies when I thought you cheated. Sincere, I'm on the rooftop of the hotel where you're having your wedding right now. The wind is so strong, I'm so cold, and it's so quiet up here. If I jump from here, that will atone for my sins, right? I remained silent. After a pause, she asked cautiously, "Why aren't you saying anything? Are you scared? Since I knew you still loved me, I'll come down right now and find you. We can leave." I calmly interrupted her, my voice devoid of any emotion. "My silence is out of respect for your choice. And Miss Bell, whether you jump or come down is your decision. It has nothing to do with me, and I won't offer any advice. And my wedding reception is over. Now I'm going to retire with my wife. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up." Hysterical shouting immediately erupted from the other end. "Unsincere, Clark, you can't do this to me, you bastard." I slammed down the phone and turned to the hotel staff member. "There's a lunatic on the rooftop. Call the police." In the bridal suite, Isabel Sterling had changed out of her simple wedding dress and was already on her laptop. "The autonomous driving project you proposed last time received excellent feedback. Several delivery companies have sent collaboration proposals. I've reviewed them, and they seem mostly fine. Quickly review them again. If there are no issues, we'll sign." I looked at her, somewhat amused. "On our wedding night, are you sure you want to talk about this?" She raised an eyebrow, looking like she understood perfectly. "Isn't it for your sake? If you were interested, I assure you these documents would never appear before your eyes again." I nodded with a faint smile, quickly finalized the plans, and signed my name at the bottom. The laptop lid was snapped shut. The world spun around me as I found myself pinned beneath her. Time to get down to business. Genius. Years later, autonomous driving technology was implemented across various sectors, further elevating Sweeney Group's reputation. I never saw Victoria Bell again. I occasionally heard that the madwoman who climbed onto the rooftop had accidentally fallen, suffering fractures in both legs, and would spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. Later, Ethan Thorne was released from prison. Since they were still legally married, he was obligated to take responsibility for Victoria's care. As for Mr. Bell, I was grateful for his past kindness, but that debt had been exhausted by the $500,000 and Victoria's endless antics. People around me, noticing my indifference to these matters, gradually stopped bringing them up. After all, Isabel and I now had a child old enough to run simple errands. Looking back at the past was pointless. One must always start a new life. The end.